Have you ever wondered why your conversion rate is so low? Or you've been working really hard to increase it and it still doesn't budge? Well, in today's video, I'm gonna reveal the top 4 conversion rate killers. What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer here. If you're new to the channel, I run a growth-focused agency by the name of Easy A Media, where we help multiple 6- and 7-figure brands scale their sales profitably. Now, in today's video, we're gonna shift the focus from improving conversion rate to identifying the things that are hurting it. No matter what level your business is currently at, we've seen these 4 things kill our clients' conversion rates even at the highest level. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into conversion rate killer number 1. So the first thing that may be killing your conversion rate is optimizing any new pages for desktop rather than mobile. Now, in full transparency, this is something that we even used to do at our agency. A lot of times we put too much attention on the device that we're using rather than the device that our customers use. 60% of all e-commerce sales are actually done on a mobile device. And for our clients, on average, 65 to even as high as 80% of our total website traffic actually comes from mobile devices. But even if majority of your customers are actually purchasing on desktop, most of the time they'll come across your brand on their mobile device first prior to moving over to a desktop and actually purchasing. Now, don't get me wrong, having a clean looking website on desktop is still very important, but it's definitely not as important as having a smooth mobile experience. So what we always recommend clients to do is, rather than building or designing pages on desktop first, always do it on mobile first. Now, it's going to be weird the first few times you do it, but by having your core design done first on mobile is going to help you have a more optimized experience for 70 to 80% of your traffic. In regards to an action step that you can actually take right away is jump into your Google Analytics and go to your audience and check what devices they're using. Google Analytics will actually tell you what device your users are using. And what we like to do is take the dimensions of whatever that device is, whether it's an iPhone 10, iPhone 14, Android, and actually use those dimensions to build our mobile layout. And by building mobile experiences that are focused on the majority of your traffic, it will definitely help you avoid killing your conversion rate. Now, the second conversion rate killer is not having accessible logistic information on your store. Over 60% of online shoppers will actually read your return policy prior to purchasing. And for any brands that sell clothes or accessories online, 27% of people won't purchase because they aren't sure of their size. So if you have some kind of shabby little size guide that you built in Canva, or your return policy is just copy and pasted from some other store, you are killing your conversion rate. If you have the best marketing and the best sales pitch to get someone bought in and actually want your product, but they don't know what size they need or if they can return it, that is something that you need to fix right away. I always like to reference Amazon, but there's a reason why so many people buy on there. 90% of the time, all of the logistical information you need is there. And the reason why Amazon provides that is because they know how important it is to actually get a sale. So in regards to things that you can do to improve this is, number 1, make sure you have all of your policies optimized on your website. And then from there, start surfacing it on your action pages. So on your product pages or landing pages or splash pages, make sure you have information on your returns and on your shipping communicated up front so that it's not an issue. Same thing goes with your size guides. Make sure that you have an optimized sizing chart for whatever product that you're selling. Ask 4 to 6 people to go on your store and say, hey, I want you to buy the product. Let me know what information you need prior to purchasing. By doing that, you're gonna get a really good idea of what logistical information is missing so that you can ultimately stop killing your conversion rate. Now, the third conversion rate killer is going to be forgetting about your load speed. Now, in the early days of our CRO agency, we just didn't even really look at load speed at all. That was a huge mistake. For every 1 second of load time that someone has to wait, conversions can fall on your store up to 20%. That is massive. I always like to use the analogy of, imagine you were shopping at a retail store and you're going through the clothing rack, but before you can actually grab the shirt or the jacket that you're looking at, you have to pause and wait 3 to 4 seconds. Imagine how annoying that would be. That's exactly what happens to people who are on your website and want to buy your products, but your website takes forever to load. The number 1 thing that we see just absolutely tanking conversion rates on clients' websites is having pages that are just massively long, or using massive elements and massive videos to try to explain their products. Now, your page might look fantastic, but the truth is only 5 to 10% of people are actually going to consume that entire page. The majority of people are going to be waiting for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds for the whole thing to load, and most likely just bounce anyways. So it's so important to make sure that you are going on websites like Page Speed Insights or GT Metrics to check each and every single individual page on your website and make sure that it's loading within 2 to 4 seconds max. If your website is taking longer than 3 seconds seconds to load, we found that's when you start to get in trouble. So with that said, when it comes to building pages, make sure you're using ones optimized for speed like Replo, or you hire a developer to custom code it for you and double check that it is loading as fast as it possibly can. Now, the fourth and final conversion rate killer is going to be focusing more on your design rather than your messaging. Now, don't get me wrong, 94% of first impressions are going to be design related. So making sure that your design is optimized above the fold is very important. But with that said, it's actually the messaging that sells the user more than the design. The majority of people who bounce from your page either leave because of load speed, which we just covered, or messaging that is not aligned with what they click. If someone is clicking your ad for a specific reason, but then they land on your website and that messaging is not aligned at all with what they click, they're just gonna leave. We see so many brands try to get cute with their designs and they wanna have things look, really aesthetic. And don't get me wrong, again, it looks great, but most people shopping online don't really care about what your website looks like. They care about what it actually says. The way that I like to look at it is the text on your website is basically your salesperson. If your salesperson has a really bad script, they're not gonna sell a lot of people. So make sure you really concentrate on the language that you're using and spend a lot of time on the messaging and the copywriting on your page compared to all these flashy design elements and animations and stuff like that. One of the best things that you can do is conduct way more in-depth market research and start reading certain threads on Reddit or watching YouTube videos to see what kind of language your ideal customer is using. The more that your messaging resonates with a potential customer, the better your conversion rate is going to be. So again, when it comes to the design, we definitely want to see designs that look great, but more importantly, I would way rather see messaging that converts way better. And we know this from personal experience as we've tested landing pages with just text versus landing pages with a bunch of great design elements. The page with just text actually outperforms. So just to do a quick recap, conversion rate killer number 1 is focusing more on desktop compared to mobile devices. Number 2, not having accurate or any logistical information at all on your website. 3, completely forgetting about load speed and not checking to make sure that your pages are loading fast. And number 4, focusing more on designs rather than the messaging itself. And I can confidently say if you avoid doing those 4 things, you will most certainly see your conversion rate start to increase and ultimately make more sales. So with that said, that's all I've got for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like down below and consider subscribing as I upload videos like this each and every single week. And as always, if you're a multiple 6 or 7-figure Shopify brand looking for the help of a growth focused agency, make sure you book a time with me down below to get your custom action plan. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you next week.